Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. What we are going to do today, or should I say attempt to do today, what we're going to attempt not to do today is have a struggle bus video. What we're going to attempt to do is take apart the little half track here and see what size bearings it runs on. Make sure that our compatibility chart led us the right way. And I'm going to go back to metal complexes trick as long as this pivot doesn't spin behind me, in which case I'll have to use my spinner bit, but I find it a little less awkward if I can get, and I've got my little skiff finger bit with the T6 in it in case I need to hold these off, because I wasn't sure what I was going to run into. All I've done was flap the scale on here. We're getting ready to go to ham on it. What you'll notice about Hinderer hardware, it's the Chicago style. It is very well done. And I'm hoping I can get in from one side. All right, let's see how the metal complex penny trick works, because these pivots are mucho long. And then we'll size out our bearing. We'll see what we've got to match with it. Once I get this up a little higher, I can just use my fingers. But the penny doesn't seem to put any, I don't think you'd want to use it if you had a stuck pivot or you're trying to break some Loctite. You'd probably want to use the tool. But the penny is pretty, let's see this. All right. So we now have our pivot out. It should come apart very easily. All right. So since this has got a titanium scale, it doesn't have a liner. But look, Hinderer even uses the stainless bearings too, not the ceramic. So let's do this. Let's see. 1/16. I'll go through there. All right, so they're 1/16 by a 1/4 inch. The other way you can do it, guys, is you can make sure. Whoops, I put the bit. Duh. Get both of these off there. You can make sure the template fits over the pivot like this. That shows you the type of tolerance. See, it won't fit through the 3/64, but it fits perfectly through the 1/4. This little template is a great $20 investment if you're going to get into upgrading your knives with Skiff bearings. And in a second here, let me look over here and make sure I've got the 1/4 inch by 1/16 13 ball. All right, so these are not only going to have more surface area, but they're going to have ceramic balls, and they're going to be a complete solid washer. Where if you look at the Hinderer, or excuse me, yeah, the Hinderer bearing, nothing wrong with them, but they are stainless steel bearings, and they're crimped on this side to where they're in a little track, and then they're pushed through on this one side, where with the Skiff Workshop rocket glide rings or their bearings, you've got the solid washer or bearing with the balls going all the way through. So what it does, in my opinion, because I always face this open side toward the wall of the knife, and I have the rolling balls towards the blade, I can't help but think that the skiffs are not only going to give me more surface area in contact with the blade, but it's going to give me better action because the ceramic is a little bit self-lubricating. It's not as clean the smuts out. That's why they've got ceramic detent balls. So why not for $11.99 if we've got a knife that we want to, and again, they've got sized bearings in there for your Civivis, for your knives that might not be $400 knives. They don't have to be. They've got bearings for all types of knives. And as long as it's your favorite knife and you're thinking about maybe putting $12 into its action or into it being in your mind and objectively a better knife, Tippy. I apologize, guys. The cat's getting ready to start doing her thing. All right. So what we are going to do, we are going to take just a little bit of our nano oil. I want to get a little on the surface area of this pivot too, but I'm just going to put a couple little drops. And then I'm going to kind of work it up that pivot, not to get any down where I'm threading it. And then I'm going to kind of put a little light little oil bath on my fingers. To get that bearing nice and lubed up. Look how perfectly it fits on there. I don't want to jinx it. All right, so I need to get my KPL heavy because I can't find my nano heavy. That's too much, I know, guys. Whoops. Ruh-roh, Reggie. All right. Got it in the track. Got it locked in. So now what we want to do is, can y'all still see it over there? I just got it on that little ridge so my pivot won't fall out. Can y'all see it better there? Let's see if I pull this down a little bit. There you go. All right, now I'm going to take a little dab in this channel. Put on the side there. And then I'm going to do one more little bath on my finger with a couple of drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to just kind of rub that in our fingers. Get them nice and coated. I apologize for the whiny. Now, we are going to lock our, we can get our, this is the trick. Because these tolerances are so tight, you want to get the, gotta get them kind of locked in. At the same time. So I got that one. What I'm going to do now is take my penny, my hand thread this down as far as I can go. The cat's just talking because it wants to go out and hunt little animals and it's not allowed to. So just disregard. It's not in distress. It's got all the food it needs. It's just playing its poor, poor, pitiful self right now because she's a manipulator. All right, let's get this where it just doesn't pop out. All right, that's tightened in there. Now let's take our Chicago screws and see what we got here. Make sure we didn't have anything move inside here. Perfect. And you notice, guys, I do not Loctite my hinderers. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like the machining's done so well that as long as I put just good hand pressure on them, that they don't get loose. Now, I've got the blue stick, blue Loctite, so I'm never in an issue if I ever do think that they're breaking loose. But what I do is I just hand tighten them to where they're not flopping around. And our pivot's probably going to be really tight right now because I cranked it all the way down. But that's a Phillips head. All right. Perfectly centered. And this is a short little blade, guys. So I'm hoping once it gets in, and if my fingers weren't greasy, let's see what would happen. Still perfectly centered. I'm going to keep it all the way tightened up. And I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to flip it. I'm going to let those bearings work in. But I think that is going to be an upgrade from what I was running with the Hinderer bearings. Again, there were nothing wrong with these bearings. I'm going to keep them because I know that they're 1/4 inch by 1/16. And I know that they'll go in, if not back in the Hinderer, if something should happen and I should sell it, or if somebody wants it, or if I want to put them in another knife. So that's the cool thing about your bearing upgrades. That's the cool thing about learning to take your knives apart, having some fun with it, not being so nervous. I've just recently started working on what I consider my grill knives. I've sharpened them once after calling Jared Neves and getting the right angle and using my TS Prof, and had no regrets. I sharpened all of my hinders except for this one and my 3 inches. They did great, guys. I hope you didn't find this just uber boring. I'm noticing that these disassembly videos aren't getting a ton of views. Maybe it's because I'm not taking apart the right knives, but I'm always up for trying new things and trying to show you guys new things. So there's no telling what'll come next, but I appreciate y'all more than you know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the channel members. Thank you to anyone who comes by and watches any of my content. All I ask is that you please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. Know I love you all. Totally locked up like a vault. And until we meet again, peace.